Hi, Victor.
Hey, John.
What's going on?
Well, getting dailies from Ben. And the dailies come about once a week. And what's a daily? Well, I don't really know. But when you watch movies and they're making movies, in the movies, they have a little screening room where they show the dailies, right? What they did the day before. So we've been loading up the files onto the projector in my screening room and looking at what Ben's doing. And so right now, I'm looking at 3 or 4 segments that have to do with E equals MC cubed, my second animation, which is a story about Albert Einstein, the true story about Albert Einstein, and a perpetual motion refrigerator that he made in 1922. True by my standards, by the way.
You already have one animation that's out right now.
Yes, I do. It's called the Bonito Is Finito.
And people can look at it on your YouTube right now.
Right. It's, YouTube. It's no longer on the landing page on my website, or it is?
It is.
It's everywhere. Yes, I did do one animation. So I'm doing a series of animations. It started out almost 10 years ago. I got asked by a library in Strasbourg. They were doing a book fair for people who were making books. And then they put me on a dais with 4 other people who had self-published books. And it was a little symposium about self-publishing a book. And one of the women there, who knew a lot more than I did, said, if you want to publish a book, you have to make a little video that goes along with it. This is almost a decade ago.
Yeah.
And she goes, we're in a video-centric reality right now. So I started to make little animations for Daedal Doodle. And the first one was the letter A, which is the apperceptive adjective. It's a snail. And I got this bug after I saw this 30-second animation with my characters moving. Simultaneously to making these animations, I was also writing stories. So I got a little adventurous, and I tried to find an animator to put like a 5-minute or 10-minute animation together.
And that's what ended up.
And that's what ended up being the Bonito Is Finito. While I was doing it, I was working with local talent. But the local talent, I thought naively that maybe I could find somebody who will puzzle this thing together.
Sure.
My influence was Terry Gilliam. There's nobody cruder than Terry Gilliam's Monty Python cartoons.
Yeah.
But it wasn't cutting it. And the people I was working with didn't have the initiative and the vision to really see this thing through. I wound up going on Google. My wife Joan went on Google and she found Ben Author. Whoa. And Ben Author had worked for NPR. NPR is big in my radio stories, and it was kind of funny. She looked up animator at NPR. I found him. I spoke about this before. So now we've been working together for 3 years. He's in Santa Cruz, California. The other day I was Skyping with him, sort of like being in the same room looking at similar screens.
Oh, of course.
And kind of a new thing for me, though. And so we're making what's going to be a 15-minute video with a lot of psychedelic segments. But I feel like my job is to design something so that you're seeing it for the first time in a brand new way. And I did that. I created a drug scene in the Bonito Is Finito where you have a cocktail of pharmaceuticals in Lake Michigan, and you see it from the point of view of the bottom of a boat that has a gigantic eyeball with spirals of pharmaceuticals coming out of it.
Yeah.
That was my idea of drugs in the water.
Right.
So it's pretty psychedelic, it's a little mind-bending. And I have about 5 or 6 mind-bending episodes or segments in E equals MC cubed.
So let's check it out.
Oh, I'd love to.
This is Quadlibetical Moments. I'm Dave Quahogowitz. Did you ever wonder how different your life would be if you just did that one thing other than the one thing you're doing now? Today we'll be examining one of those relative moments in time as we discuss Albert Einstein's sadly left behind passion, kitchen appliances, and the history that could have been. My guest is Isaac Walterson. He currently heads the Appalachian Institute, a think tank dedicated to the art of apperception.
I forgot to mention that the 2 main characters are a clam in a bowl, a fish bowl, and a loach, which is an eel with tendrils coming out of its lips in a fishbowl. The reason why I forgot to mention it is because, to me, These are characters from Daedal Doodle. They're totally normal. For me to be speaking to these characters is the same thing as getting a call from my mother. But for the first time viewer, that's a surreal psychedelic moment.
Oh, of course.
Total
Yeah.
deep fantasy. It's kind of 2 flights down from the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Okay? Because there isn't even a person taking you to the rabbit hole. It's the hatch at the bottom of the rabbit hole after you're having tea. All right, so let's continue a little bit.
Where new experiences.
Okay, so in this building over here, which is a really cool synagogue that was designed by Frank Lloyd Wright, I found it. I'm hoping that it's royalty free somehow. I did a lot of work on it. But I was showing it to my friend Lisa Berlin, and she goes, "Oh, Vic, that's where I was bar mitzvahed." So it's a synagogue that's in Philly.
Yeah.
And I put it on top of a mountain, sort of like the kingdom of like isolation. What was Batman's cave? Do you remember the name of it?
The Batcave.
No, not Batman's cave. I'm sorry, Superman's ice cave.
I have no idea.
Okay. All right, go on.
Are perceived in relation to past experiences. He was managing editor of Emit magazine and author of the best-selling biographies of Michelangelo, Thomas Edison, Lord Buckley, and Albert Einstein. Isaac, you don't even have to knock. You publish, I interview. So please, don't take this the wrong way, but didn't we do this interview last year when you released your humongous biography on Einstein?
Dave, thanks for having me on.
So if this voice, the voice of the clamp sounds familiar, it's Dave Davies from Fresh Air. He's the number 2 man on the most popular NPR show in the nation. Now the next voice you're going to hear when we turn it back on is Richard Hake. He is the head of the news department for WNYC. I asked both these guys to read this script. They both said yes. They both did it 4 times each until they got it to where it needed to be. So I got really lucky. Neither of them wanted to get paid. They just wanted to see a project that was this cool go forward.
On again. Here's the thing, even before I started my Einstein biography, the world was not looking for another book on Einstein. But when Princeton University called me after opening their vault of sequestered Einstein papers, well, Dave, it was a biographer's dream come true. In essence, I was being asked to do the definitive tome on this giant's life. Imagine Walterson and Einstein being seen forever in the same spotlight. My God. But little did I know that after the first Einstein bio was published, Jerusalem University would reveal something so extraordinarily unexpected that I immediately went to work on the second book.
The unexpected, Isaac. Keep talking. This is getting good.
In 1952, Einstein turned down Prime Minister Ben Gurion.
Wow. Will you get a load of that? All this brilliant stuff, I think you're onto something.
This is coming ASAP. You want to look at another one?
Let's do it.
Szilard never looked back and went on to create the patent for the nuclear reactor, ipso facto jump-starting the atomic age. Einstein's ability to see deep into the future informed him of the never-ending friction between Israel and the Palestinian state. Well, Dave, his prescient gift came with a stipulation that Israel would use the accrued gelt from the Einstein kitchen appliance patents to bring stability to the Middle East and turn it once and for all into the land of milk and honey, as promised in the Bible.
What are we looking at in this scene? It starts out with the atom that's looming over the meadow, symbolizes the atomic age. Leo Szilard was one of the people who ushered in the atomic age. He invented the nuclear reactor. He patented it, which is kind of funny because this whole thing starts with Einstein and Szilard patenting the refrigerator, which they actually did, and then he went on. He went from the refrigerator to the nuclear reactor, which is one of the things that made me so crazy with this story. I couldn't stop thinking about these two guys being this smart and actually starting their relationship with the refrigerator.
Yeah.
Okay? We're going from the atomic age to the land of milk and honey. Einstein leaves his patents to the state of Israel, or to the country of Israel. The stipulation that goes along with Israelis having his patents for kitchen appliances is that they take the accrued gelt. It's Yiddish for money. Okay? Not a crude gelt. The word gelt means money in Yiddish. Einstein wants the funds that are accrued through the patents of the kitchen appliances that he created that are now being sold worldwide to funnel back into the Middle East and turn it into the land of milk and honey. And so what we have is we have an udder coming down from the sky that was designed by Einstein, spraying milk over orchards in the Middle East as bees are pollinating the orchard on their way back to their hives to make honey. And once and for all, turning the Middle East into the land of milk and honey, as promised in the Bible. That's that scene. It's a little rough here, but it's sort of 95% put together. It needs its sound effects and it needs its music. Let's go to another scene.
Dave, my cousin Bernie just happens to be the chairman of the Knesset. He got wind of this nonsense and wanted to make sure I would get an opportunity to finally tell the complete story on Einstein. Bernie wouldn't put up with me becoming the brunt of second-rate jokes, turning me into a runt-of-the-litter biographer. Because of the secret nature of the papers, it came to a closed-door vote in the Knesset titled Walterson versus Hitler.
Hitler, Isaac, what the hell are you talking about?
Before we get too deep into the weeds, just for the record, the issues
On the screen, the Loach, who is a biographer named Isaac Walterson, which is actually the spoonerization of Walter Isaacson's name, who is the guy who really did a biography on Einstein. The title of this is E equals MC3, E equals MC cubed. He came out with a biography of Einstein, believe it or not, called Einstein, right, by Walter Isaacson. In my version of this tale, the Israelis had a vault of information that Einstein left behind inside his perpetual motion refrigerator. And now that this has been unearthed and rediscovered or discovered to the public for the first time, Walterson's biography is now second rate.
Yeah.
Because there's all this new information.
Yes.
So Walterson happens to be a Loach. He's talking about the fact that he has this biography that is now needs to be updated. He's calling it E equals MC3. And how did he get wind of the papers from Israel? Well, he happens to have a cousin named Bernie, who is a senator in the Israeli Senate. And his cousin happens to be an eel. He's not quite a Loach. He doesn't have the tentacles or the tendrils coming out of his lips. Let's go to the next scene.
full title was Walterson versus Hitler and the Perpetual Motion Refrigerator.
The weeds, Isaac. Head for the weeds.
Well, it started in Germany in the late 1920s when, sadly, a Berlin family was asphyxiated in their sleep. Their refrigerator had an O-ring seal fail on a pressurized gas container of ammoniated ether, leaking the deadly toxin into their home and killing them. After hearing the news, Einstein and his former student, Leo Szilard, collaborated in creating a device that did not have any pressurized toxins. The two worked together to combine Einstein's theories of electromagnetic and gravitational fields and created a device they called the Daedal Doodle. The seemingly static machine generated enough molecular motion to produce the necessary heat needed to achieve refrigeration cycles. Arguably,
The top of this refrigerator has the Daedal Doodle device in it. Coincidentally, I have the same drawing in my book, Daedal Doodle.
Einstein and Szilard invented the world's first and only perpetual motion machine. Almost.
Perpetual motion. The problem with their particular design, that this machine needed a gallon of water every 20 years. And if it didn't need to be replenished every 20 years with a gallon of water, it truly would be a perpetual motion machine.
Yeah.
But I think we've developed a technology to lick that. So although they didn't invent perpetual motion, they did. Okay, if you like watching the dailies as much as I do, subscribe to this YouTube channel. And we'll be seeing you sooner than you think with more dailies from the animation E equals MC cubed. That said, you can see the Bonito Is Finito from beginning to end at victorstabin.com or on this YouTube channel. Have a blast. Let me know what you think. Oh, by the way, dog's name is Einstein. We don't want to forget about him. Right, Einstein? Have a kiss? Later? In private? Okay.